Hello everybody, I'm Jeff Burke and I'm the team leader for Team 1, and today I'm doing a short video to present the Kanister Visualiser. This is a application that Michael Cade has created for this hackathon, and he was the brains and I'm the pretty face. Well, I'm the funny face, how's that? Alright, so I'm going to talk about the Kanister Visualiser, and I'll describe what he has documented here, which is great documentation. This is all done in our GitHub repository. And so what is the Kanister Visualiser? Well, the Kanister Visualiser is a user-friendly web application designed to provide a clear and intuitive overview of Kanister's critical components within a Kubernetes cluster. Now, what is Kanister? Kanister is an application, open source, that you can use to do backups of your environment. And Kasten leverages Kanister under the hood. Okay, so that's the reason it's being done. He goes on to explain that with its sleek and stylish interface, no less, it offers instant insights into Kanister Profiles, Blueprints, and ActionSets. Users can easily identify and explore various Kanister profiles, including their types and associated cloud storage buckets, thanks to the app's organized display. Furthermore, the visualizer showcases Kanister blueprints, allowing users to view and comprehend each blueprint's purpose and parameters. So one of the things which can be problematic in Kubernetes is it's all done through the command line, and human beings obviously like to see things. Now, Kasten's got great, obviously, UI, you know that, I know that, but there's room for additions, and this visualizer could eventually be incorporated into Kasten as well. So what this is doing at the Kanister level is to show you these things which otherwise will be deep inside the Kubernetes API and kind of abstract for the human mind, okay? So we'll go on to talk about, he's talking about, perhaps most importantly, the ActionSets section presents a real-time view of ongoing operations, including names, namespaces, and status updates. The app's dark mode feature enhances user experience, and it also provides quick links to Kanister GitHub, repository website, documentation, and Slack community. Overall, the Kanister Visualizer empowers users to monitor and manage their Kanister-based data protection workflows with elegance and ease. I like the way this is written. I mean, this is not just your standard boring, IT documentation talk. This has got jive to it. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen now and show some of the aspects of this. Now, what he has in here also are a lot of prerequisites which you can do. Now, I'm not going to do those today because we don't want this presentation to go on all night. But I will show you the GitHub page. So there's the initial part that I just described. And there's various ways you can load this. You can do it through Dockers. You have a Docker container, or you can run it in Kubernetes. And that's what I'm going to do. So what I've done, and the prerequisites are, you have to obviously have a Kubernetes cluster, or you're not going to get very far. But it's simple. I have Rancher Desktop on my Windows laptop, which is leveraging Windows Subsystem for Linux. So you have the Windows Subsystem for Linux here, and Rancher Desktop on top of that. Now, Rancher Desktop has, by default, running inside of it, a K3s Kubernetes distribution. Okay, so it's lightweight, single node, and that's what I'm going to use this for. However, this can be done with anything. Now, the other thing I've done locally is just in Windows, I've created a S3 Minio server to use as a profile. Now, let's turn this thing on. I'll also talk beforehand, I'll go down here, to actually see these Kanister. Now, Kanister is outside of this in a way. I mean, it assumes you've got Kanister installed, or not installed, but you know how to use Kanister, okay? But he does have the explanation here of how to install Kanister. So if you see here, deploy Kanister to your Kubernetes cluster, that's Kanister, okay? It's the open source Kanister, and there's a Helm chart for it. And you can go through there and do that. And I've already done that for time-saving sakes, but what I will do is show you that I do have the CRDs installed. So here's my little Docker desktop, not Docker desktop, Rancher desktop. Oh, gosh, Jeff, what a mistake. As I said, I'm not the pretty face, I'm the funny face. At least I keep things funny. Okay, so kubectl get CRDs, okay, which are the resource definitions, and we're going to grep for Kanister, right? And that way I'll prove to you that I've installed it. It's not difficult to install at all. There they are, they're there. Again, these are just things that take up time. Now the next thing that you want to do for Kanister is you have to install the Kanister little utilities, the tools, and so can CTL and can do. I've done that as well. Again, he's given the line right here how to do that. Very easy to do. And then you have to create your profile. Now, in the example here, he's got AWS, S3, Azure, and Google. That's wonderful, but I don't want to pay any money. So what I've done is I've just created a local MinIO, and I've created that as well. Now, what I'll do, I'll show you just so that you know. Pull this over here. It's very simple to do. Instead of creating the profile like he's got there, I just create it like this. I'm not going to do it again, but I'll put it in the command line so you can see it. And the MinIO, by the way, is you download MinIO exe. Okay, it's an exe file if you're doing Windows, and do MinIO exe space server, and then the location of where you want the data. So I did E drive data, and there I've got MinIO. And then you can log in locally. I think the password is admin user. It's actually here, or use admin password by default, and you can create a bucket. Okay, so this is the command that I did right here to create that profile, which he's got here. So very simple again. Not really related to the visualizer, but you need this to be able to see more inside the visualizer, obviously. Okay, so how about the visualizer itself? Well, it's a very simple install. Make sure there's no other things to do there. Oh, I also did create an action set as well. That's again a canister operation. An action set is something it's going to do, obviously action set. Now, mind you, if you don't do that, you're still going to see the visualizer, but there'll be nothing to visualize, right? So it'll be pretty, but okay. So I've done all that to save us time. Now I'm going to install the visualizer itself, and that is very simple. So let's go back and see his little explanation here. It's basically you go into the folder, right, which is I've created a folder here, all by the instructions. I downloaded the code. You can clone the code, or you can download the zip, either way you want. And I'm going to do a kubectl. Create F, and the dot means everything in there. It's going to go through all the YAML files and create them. And I want this in the canister namespace, obviously. Okay, so I do that. Off we go, and it's all created. Boom. Let's see what's happening in there. So let's get our pods in the canister namespace. And it's already running. So which one is it? Well, the visualizer, obviously. But the other one is canister itself, okay? So that's the difference. Excellent, it's already running. Okay, so how do we get to that now? Well, he's provided the port forward here. Now, keep one thing in mind. That name of the pod here is going to be different for every time you install it, obviously, right? So you can see here, when I did my kubectl or kgetpo pods and canister, it's showing me the visualizer, and of course, it's a different one. So don't copy and paste, it won't work. You have to find out the name of yours. So I'm going to do a port forward so I can see it on my machine. Oh, I shouldn't have pressed tab. Sometimes you press tab in Windows Substance for Linux, and it takes a long time for it to kind of figure it out. It's faster to type it, Jeff. But being lazy, I always do the tab. There we go. Okay. And it's going to be pod, and my pod is this one here. So I'm just going to highlight this, and I'm going to left click it, and that way I can paste it. And what port do I want? Well, I want port 8080, just like he has, 8080. I mean, you could do another one. Well, you have to do 8080 for the local one, but for the container one, but you could actually, I guess, post it somewhere else on your machine. So, okay, so that's working. So now, theoretically, we should be able to go to here, and boom, there it is. It's already come up. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, and as you can see, I created this profile. Okay, that's a MinIO profile I created. There are the blueprints. Now, how do you get the blueprints, Jeff? Well, that was also done beforehand, again. It's in the instructions, though, so let's go back to the instructions. After you've installed the visualizer, all you have to do is, in the right-hand top corner here, press this copy and paste that, and it'll install all of those blueprints. And they appear right here in the middle. And look at this, he's even got the icons. Isn't that wonderful? So, I mean, if you don't like reading stuff and you're lazy, post-SQL, you're the big elephant thing, that's it. Okay, great. I also created an action set, and as you can see, it said failed, and I have no idea why. That's nothing to do with the visualizer, but it is good in a way, because I did something wrong when I created that action set. I don't know what it is, but I know something's wrong with it because it says failed. So right away, we see how valuable this is, okay? Again, when you use that command line, it goes by really quickly. You might not see that failed. Here, I've got it at a glance. As he also mentioned, there's a dark mode for the developer types out there, or for people who just don't like the bright, shiny stuff. And you have here the links. So you have the GitHub link, you have the Kanister IO link, and you have the Kanister Docs link and the Slack. So let's just right-click those to prove that I'm not lying. Okay, there's the Slack. You have to join it, obviously. There's the Kanister documentation site, and there's more Kanister here, and the actual GitHub repository. Okay, so that's all visible as he said. Okay, now also, because I've got some time left, I did create a MySQL. Okay, I created a MySQL as well. This one, ActionSet, I created from MongoDB, and that's not in this example. I just had a MongoDB available. But after that, I decided to create a MySQL because he has MySQL in his example. And sometimes it's easy to copy a genius's example rather than try it yourself, because then you get failed. I'm certain something I could fix easily, but I just don't have time. So let's try that right now. Let's see if I can. So first of all, I'll prove to you that I do have my MySQL. I have to use a different one because I've got that one port forwarding. No problems at all. Windows Subsystem to Linux. I'll pull up another one. Let's see what I've got here. Okay, get NS. It's probably in a namespace. Okay, there it is, MySQL. Okay, get pull in the MySQL namespace. And it is a MySQL release 0, whatever. And that's what he's using as well. So let's see what we can do here. Now, what I want to do here is create an action set. And he's got one right here, as you can see. Okay, action set. Again, though, let's make sure so it's stateful set. The only thing different here, okay, is going to be the profile. Okay, because remember, when you create a profile, it's going to go differently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that over to here in my little notepad. Okay, and I'm going to change it to make certain that it's got my release name in it. Okay, so profiles, my S3. Okay, so keep that in mind. Let's just see, where's the one I want? I want this one down here. Okay, so my release, that's fine. And my profile, well, you know what I can do? I can use Visualizer to get my profile, right? Right, there it is. So the difference is this is S3 profile HPFKK, okay? So that's where we have to make the change. So if we take that command, all right, we take that command and we paste it. I think I already made the change over here. I did to save us time in Notepad++. So this is using the CanCTL. It's all documented there. I'm going to try to create an action set and see what happens. Oh, verification failed. So my release doesn't exist. So again, this is one of these things that happens when you create something a little bit differently, which I did. So the stateful set, let's get the stateful set. So, okay, get stateful set in the MySQL namespace. Okay. And it doesn't have a stateful set because I deployed the deployment. Okay, that's why. All right, so he's got stateful set. I deployed the deployment. Let's see if we can change that. 1 second. So it's got stateful set. We're going to change that to deployment. Let's see if this works. Deployment. Okay, MySQL, my release. Let's see what happens. Again, oh, secret. There's no secret. Let's see if we got a secret. Okay, get secret. I installed the Bitnami Helm chart, and it really should do all this by itself, but it might not. So let's get secret in the MySQL and see if there's a secret. There is a secret. So what's the problem here? Secret my release and secret MySQL release not found. That's interesting because it is in there. Now this has nothing to do with the visualizer. This has everything to do with Kanister. Okay, so I'm not doing a good example of Kanister. It's probably a problem with spelling somewhere. So let me just check that out. Okay. Okay, I found the problem, and this is what happens when you do things on a Sunday. Sundays, you should be resting, right, or at the beach, and here I'm doing a video. So it was simple. I do have a stateful set. I actually did get stateful set, and it's there. Different name, Jeff. So in here, it says stateful set test, right? But look at my stateful set. It's called my release, okay? So let's change that. Or actually, you know what it is? It's not that. It's the namespace. I have the namespace in here says test, but it's actually MySQL. So let's try that again. And now it can't find the secret again. So let's go back to the secret. I did find the other thing. Let's find the secret now. So again, another Sunday afternoon thing. Again, the namespace. Jeff, wake up. Okay, smell the coffee. So again, it's not MySQL test namespace, it's MySQL, okay? That's what happens when you're trying to film and do Kubernetes at the same time. It's like walking, chewing chewing gum, right? Doesn't, anyways. Okay. And look, it worked, right? Fantastic. All it takes is to slow down a bit. So we've got it created. Just so you don't freak out about the complicatedness of this was not complicated. The namespace I have is called MySQL namespace, okay? But in the example, it's MySQL test namespace. Very simple mistake. By the way, a little extra knowledge here. In the Kubernetes exams, they love doing stuff like that because people get flustered. A small difference in the name somewhere, and you're going all over the place trying to check. Anyways, I digress. So a little bit, you got more than you accepted. Let's go back now to our visualizer. Okay, I only see one there now, all right? But let's refresh the page and wow, it's not only there, but look at this, complete. It's all green like Veeam, right? That's wonderful. Okay, so that's the visualizer. I don't think I have much more time, but there's a lot you can do on this. As Michael said himself, you can build on this. So this is just the beginning, right? And I think actually when you actually run them, it'll show you. But look at that. Isn't that wonderful? Beautiful. Okay, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it. And we will see you next time, the next hackathon.